performance on wheels.
In 2010, the Porsche Macan was a thought that is starting to be put onto paper. By 2016, we had this, the Macan GTS. Today, let's take a peek at the 2017 Porsche Macan GTS. Our friend Tyler Falconer gave us the opportunity to take a peek at these Toyotas today and share them with you. Give him a shout at Rudy Luther Toyota, based out of Golden Valley, Minnesota today. We're taking a look at the Macan today because they're starting to become pretty hot in the used car market. They have retained their value extremely well, and you can get this, what once was $80,000+ sport SUV for the low $50,000 range. The Macan's kind of near and dear to my heart, and the reason we took the time to look at this today is because this is one of the vehicles we were looking at purchasing in 2017 when we got a new vehicle for my wife. We looked at the SRT8 Jeep too big, we looked at the Macan, and we looked at the GLC 43. So I'm kind of curious, 3 years later, do I think we made the right move? We have 50,000 miles on the GLC 43 AMG coupe that we bought. Do we regret it? And how does the Macan stack up in our opinion today?
Today we're going to be doing a look at the exterior, the interior, going driving, comparing it to our AMG, and then of course launch control. One thing our AMG does not have. We're going to have that many times throughout the video, like right now.
If I had to spec a Macan, this would be it. Either this or red with the black accents. Truly striking. I love the design of the Macan. I don't have a negative thing to say about the way it looks on the exterior. I love that hood that wraps around the headlights. It really looks cool, especially when it's open, not to mention when it's closed. The hood in the Macan is really cool. It gives it the sports car-like presence. Check this thing out when it's open, and then notice those body lines when it's closed. The Macan's concept came from the Audi Q5, and that's where the platform started. That's kind of where the similarities end. They did start taking a lot of the under bits, the suspension components, from that Q5. However, they are not the same. They have been tuned, upgraded to meet what Porsche was aiming for. That is kind of where the similarities end. There is no interior shared, and the powertrain is completely specific to Porsche.
My first impressions on this versus the AMG instantly came to quality. I felt that this was a much higher quality in many regards than our AMG, but at the same time, I kind of lost the fun factor when it came to driving.
Now the taillights have changed on the newer model years. However, I love the look, and I love the look on the new ones as well. I also love the quad exhaust. The exhaust note, however, take a listen.
The only thing I am seeing that is not super high quality on the Macan would be the key fob. As you can see, it is an attempted color of the car, I'm guessing. It's already paint fading everywhere. It's a completely different color blue. What the heck? You have to give them pointers though. It is cool that it is a car. Check out this fun noise for when somebody tries to break in.
Getting into the Macan's trunk is right under that windshield wiper. You push the button, the hatch opens automatically, just like our Mercedes. Our storage space is not awesome, but it's enough to serve as a daily driver. Let's check out the inside. This is where the dispute came when we were looking back in 2017. I'm 6 feet tall, I weigh about 210 pounds. This is where I'm comfortable. I've already had the seat adjusted. Very easy to do. You have lots of options, as you can see. I love the instrument layout. I personally love all the buttons that come in the center console. I love the way the steering wheel looks. I love the way the steering wheel feels. I love looking out over the car. There's also the argument that Porsche uses real leather where the Mercedes has the MB Tex. So with that being said, why did we not buy the Macan? So the seats are comfortable, they're good, but they're not great. We sat in the Mercedes and it was a night and day difference. We truly enjoyed the extra support, the extra bolstering that the AMG supplied, as well as just the adjustability of the seat. We felt it was a more comfortable seat. The next item came when we checked out the back seats. Let's do that now. So although my wife and I would be the primary people in the car, we did think about passengers we would have from time to time, including my son. And that's where the back seat, it wasn't great. Guys, I left the front seat where I was comfortable at 6 feet tall. Getting in here, it's not awesome. So it's pretty cramped just with the doorway, the design of the car. And then if you sit upright, I hit my head on the ceiling of the Macan. In the Mercedes, I can stay where I'm at in the driver's seat and still be 100% comfortable in the back, even in the coupe with the sloped roofline.
PDK is unreal. So we have a Mercedes AMG GLC 43 Coupe, which is the direct competitor to the Macan GTS. I personally, first impressions are, I like the sitting position in the Mercedes quite a bit more. I also think the seats in the Mercedes hug you a bit more as well. Although I do think the shifts, there's no comparing to PDK. This is Sport Plus. We got all the fancy stuff on. Definitely cannot corner the way that Golf can that we were just in. That acceleration is unreal though. First impressions driving the Macan, it's extremely comfortable, and it's almost too comfortable for the car that it is supposed to be. I think that it should be a bit stiffer than it is, which our AMG is. This has a lot of body roll still going around corners. As you can see here, it's not super planted to the point where I have a lot of confidence going around corners at a high speed. Whoa.
Thoughts. When we were looking for a new car for my wife, this is the second car we test drove. We test drove first a Grand Cherokee SRT. My wife thought that was just massive and huge, so we came over to the Macan. She didn't like it so much that she didn't even let me drive it. What I can tell you is it feels like you're driving something more special than the GLC. I totally agree with that. However, the GLC feels a little sportier. This feels more special. The GLC feels sportier. I think the GLC, like all AMGs, also has a little more personality to it. It's a little more aggressive with its acceleration. It's not as raw or pure as the Macan. I think this drives and feels more like an SUV compared to the GLC 43. Just my opinion on that. I also feel like it feels that you're sitting up a little higher. The Macan definitely has more of an SUV presence, sitting position, as well as the way it handles. So the Macan has been known more or less since it came out to be holding its value very well, and it continues to do that. One of the best holding performance SUVs you could buy, or luxury SUVs in this segment. 2017 model year GTS, so we're talking a sticker 70,000+. Options can go absolutely wild. With 37,000 miles, this one could be yours for a couple grand over 50. Every once in a while, the active exhaust will produce this just raw, really low bass, almost like a subwoofer's hitting a really low note. And then when it's not doing that, I don't find the exhaust note to be very pleasing. There's no denying that 7,000 RPM red line and those turbos spooling up, man, that's a fun experience. I don't mean to say anything bad about the Macan, because it truly is an amazing machine.
Yeah, it is.
It's awesome design. It's amazing what it can do, what it's capable of. The performance numbers are like pretty much neck and neck with the GLC. Like if you were to line them up, it would probably be every other run the person would win, would be my guess.
Yep. But I really lost me when I took the first corner. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
When I first sat in it, loved the PDK. The sound is cool every once in a while, and I do think it's very comfortable. I think it's more comfortable than the Mercedes, in my opinion. I really like the quality of the leather. I feel like I sink into the seat more. But when you start taking corners, you lose the seat bolstering. It felt like there's a lot of body roll. I really lost it when I took the first corner.
That's comparing it directly to the Mercedes.
Yeah.
And we just came out of driving a Golf R as well.
Yes.
So I don't want it to sound like we are bashing the Macan. But at the end of the day, I would still make the same decision that we made.
I would too, but if it was the turbo model, I think I'd pick the turbo. Because the turbo supposedly stiffens up the suspension more, drops the ride height, another 100 horsepower pretty much. So the turbo's another car.
If we're going to play that, then what about the GLC 63?
I'd take the GLC 63 over the turbo. The GLC 63S is my favorite. That's actually my dream SUV. I think that thing is so cool looking.
Yeah, it's pretty mean. AMG just has this way, regardless of the car, they have this way of just adding so much personality to the car.
Yeah, and I really do like this. But it's too smooth for me.
It's very refined.
Yeah.
It's a refined sport SUV.
Yeah, it doesn't slam. Even at the launch control, I'm not slammed to the back of my seat. I'm still put back there nicely.
Yeah.
So, and the Mercedes is opposite. It will put you in the back of your seat, and it'll yell at you while it does it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have that dual clutch like this does, and the shifts are a little more. It's a little more punchy in the face with everything.
Yeah.
The boost that it provides is kind of a more in your seat. The noise I think it makes on a more consistent basis is a little more in your face.
Yeah, I think the exhaust noise on the GLC is much better driving. I think this sounds pretty cool revving. This actually lets you rev all the way to whatever, 60, 800. And the Mercedes only lets you go to like 4 or something.
Right.
And also, I think the turbos in this sound super cool if you roll down the window. You get some awesome flutters every once in a while.
It's an amazing, it really is an amazing piece of machinery. There's no denying that. Fit and finish is top notch, but I stick to it. At the end of the day, I made the right call. I'd do the same thing again.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video on the Porsche Macan GTS. If you guys would like to see the Mercedes AMG we were talking about, go ahead and click right here, subscribe right here, watch us tune a Camry here, and see the Jaguar F-Type R we purchased right here. Have a nice day.